Oh, what a
King on the
flop.
flush draw, and then nuts.
And the
He
jack.
did get the jack.
So I played a poker tournament on Saturday. Been not playing that much. I didn't feel so sharp. But I played, I think, okay for the most part, but not great. It's a game I don't love because you get 50,000 to begin with, and there's an add-on for 125,000 chips, like 2 hours in. So it really makes the early play like not necessary at all because you get so many chips on the add-on and everybody adds on. Just gonna discuss some interesting hands. First one was I had 6, 7 of clubs. I decided kind of like mix it up, raise from an early position, and the somebody in late position, one of the blinds called, and the flop comes out. Actually, the guy who from a late position had raised had three bet me, so I just called, and there were three of us playing. So flop comes out 4, 5, 8. So I flop the straight. I check the initial raiser C bets. He makes a good bet, and one of the blinds calls the third player comes in. So here I'm debating. Should I raise? Do I think he looks like he might bet again on the turn? So I decide I'm just gonna call and see one more card and see what happens. So the turn comes out the King of Hearts, which is not good for me. One, if there's a flush, I had to make him pay, and two, somebody had like a mediocre medium hand. Now they're gonna think one of us, one of the other two players, called with a heart draw. So, but I check anyway, and the initial raiser checks. Unfortunately, so we go to the river. River comes out Queen of Spades. Here again, I think I make another mistake. I just let out, with a half pot size bet. Probably should have called checked because chances are somebody else might have bet. But they both folded, so I didn't get to see what they had. I got some chips, but it wasn't optimal play. I think I should have played it a little bit differently, but sometimes that's just the way things work out. The few hands later, again, I'm in middle position, late middle. I have Jack of Hearts, Jack of Spades. I have pocket jacks. So I make a bet pre-flop, maybe three times the blinds, and the button calls, and if a couple other people call. So the flop comes out 3, 10 Jack. So here I have the top set, but this is a very wet board. The straight draws out there, this flush draws out there. So I make a small bet, maybe a third of the pot. And the guy on the button raises like really big, like more than a pot size bet. So it comes back to me, and they decided, like, you know what? At this point, I think he made it 15,000. Proper raise would just leave me not a lot of chips, so I just go all in. He tanks for a while, shows his card to somebody else next to him that had folded. The other guy's like, making faces, and he folds face up. He had pocket threes, and he showed, so I showed him that he made a good fold, set over set fold. So for me, uh, don't know if he played it great or you can't fold a set there, but maybe I just came on too strong. He claimed he would have called if it was a set of tens instead of a set of threes, but it's the way it worked. I got, again, I got some chips, but not a ton. So no matter, whether I slow played or I got aggressive, the outcome was not what I wanted to happen. I've tried both moves, and on the decent hands I got. So here's another example of that. Early position, I might have been under the gun. I have ace of clubs, ace of spades, pocket aces. Table's been mostly aggressive, decent amount of raising. So I decide I'm just going to limp in under the gun, see, hopefully somebody raises and I can go over the top. That's what I'm thinking. Or, I'm just going to be up against the blind. Whatever my thinking was, it turns out it probably wasn't the right decision. But then, in retrospect, maybe it was. So it gets checked, limped in, like 5, 6 players are in. So flop comes out 4, 5, 7, and the guy, one of the blinds, I might have been a smaller big blind. I think he was the big blind. He had accumulated a lot of chips, mostly by playing well, but mostly by just getting like in huge pots and good spots with not great hands. So he could have anything, but then he was a big blind anyway. So he was a big blind special. He leads out a big bet, and a couple of times he's let out into a pot like that. He had hands. So I look at my aces. I look at that. I mean, it just cost me the big blind. I don't like it, so I walk away. I fold. And one of the players in late position, he might have been on the button. He tanks for a while and decides I'm folding, and he shows pocket sixes. He folded. The first guy who raised didn't show. He claimed he had the nuts. I'm assuming 3-6. So he was the button, the dealer. So he looks, and he says, "Oh, an 8 would have come out on the flop," but I got away from it. Either way, I was probably beat, especially if an 8. It's true that an 8 came out, so that went away. A couple of hands later, and this is the last hand. King. It wasn't the last hand for me, but it was the last hand I'm gonna kind of discuss here. King of clubs, king of spades. I made a big bet, 3-bet. That was late middle position again. Somebody had raised a small amount. I made it a bigger bet. So the initial raise, everybody else folded. Initial raiser calls the big pre-flop bet, and flop came out, just harmless, queen high. He checked. I let out a bet, and he folded. So my game was pretty much a lot of streaks. Either went really well for 20 minutes or really bad for 20 minutes. Not hitting cards or not playing as sharp, or just being like in the wrong position when you got those particular cards. So past the add-on dinner break took forever. I mean, color up should be like 10-15 minutes. They have dinner break. People could just eat it. It's like over an hour, and it's getting tiring. So I went on like a little streak where I lost like a couple of huge pots. One was like with a mediocre holding. I flopped 2 pairs, but he flopped a set. So that cost me a lot of chips. And then the last hand I played was I was on the big blind under the gun. He's a wild player. He raised a decent amount, and somebody else calls him. It comes to me. I have pocket sevens. I have about 10, 11 big blinds. I go all in. Under the gun goes all in over the top. The other guy squeezes him out. So it's just heads up. He had ace 10. I had pocket sevens. On the better odd side of winning that flip, but he flopped. He hit a 10 on the flop. I think the other guy had ace jack. I would have beat him had he been the one to go in first. But so that's how it was. This week I'm going to try to play. Borgata has the mini fall classic open, whatever they call it. 2-day tournament. I'll try to go out there and play, get back on the sharper side of things.